Today, we would be sharing a story titled After the Second Goodbye. Some losses rearrange furniture, others rearrange your soul. This is a story about the kind that does both. The first goodbye was their mother. It didn't happen all at once. It happened in fragments. The way her shoes stayed by the door, the way her wrapper still smelled like her, the way the house forgot how to sound alive. And people underestimate that kind of loss. They think death is loud. But this one came quietly like a light. They said the usual things. She's in a better place. Be strong for your father. Time will heal. But time didn't heal. Time just kept moving. Their father became the center pole of a tent that had lost one anchor. He held, but he bent. After the burial, the house stood still. Her things remained where she left them, as if she might return and ask why everything had been moved. She was the emotional center, the one who noticed hunger before it became anger, the one who could correct you without breaking you. When she died, the children didn't cry all at once. They rationed their tears like grief was something that might run out. Their father tried to fill the space, but grief doesn't accept substitutes. He cooked meals that didn't taste the same. He tried to remember school schedules, moods, quiet tears in the night. He loved them fiercely, but grief sat heavy on his shoulders like unpaid debt. And the children noticed. They noticed his silence. They noticed the way laughter felt illegal. They noticed that childhood was slowly slipping through their fingers. That was year one, a year of adjustment, a year of survival. They learned to help more, to ask for less, to swallow questions like, why her? If you've ever lost the one who held the emotional map of your family, you know the silence I'm talking about. And this was only the first goodbye. 1 year. That's how long they had to learn a new version of normal. 1 year to convince themselves the worst had already happened. Then came the phone call. The kind that steals the air from your lungs. The kind that makes your ears ring and your knees weak. The kind that confirms your worst fear, that life does not take turns being gentle. Their father was gone. No warning. No gradual goodbye. Just absence. Now listen closely, because this is where most stories lie to you. They didn't scream dramatically. There is a special kind of fear that comes when both parents are gone. It's not loud, it's cold. Because suddenly, you're not just grieving, you're exposed. The question is no longer, how are you coping? It becomes, what happens to you now? Relatives gathered again, but this time the energy was different. Less softness, more decisions. Who would take responsibility? Who would take charge? Who would take what? The children sat in rooms where adults spoke. The oldest became strong, not by choice, by necessity. The middle learned silence. Silence attracts less trouble. They learned early that grief doesn't pause family politics. Sometimes it feeds it. The youngest learned fear. Fear grows fast when security disappears. Who will take care of us? Can we stay together? Are we still a family? He asked. That's the thing nobody warns you about. When parents die, siblings don't just grieve together. They worry about being separated, about being misunderstood, about becoming a burden. Nighttime was the hardest, because during the day, survival distracts you. But at night, memory gets loud. The children learned boundaries early. They learned that not all help is safe. They learned that being related doesn't always mean being protective. They missed being called by name, missed correction that came from love, missed being someone's priority. And still, the world expected gratitude. Be thankful you have family. Others have it worse. God knows best. Those words, when spoken too quickly, can bruise. Sometimes all they could say was, God, we're still here. Now let me stop here for a moment. If you're listening to this and you've lost one parent or both, or you were forced to grow up before your time, I want you to reflect, not rush. Who did you become after your loss? What role did you take on without being asked? What do you wish people understood about grieving children? Faith didn't disappear, but it changed. Prayer became less polished, more honest, more desperate. What carried these children through wasn't luck, it was memory. Their mother's voice lived on in how they spoke kindly to one another. Their father's discipline showed up, and how they refused to give up on school, on faith, on decency. Love, when planted deep enough, outlives death. They learned boundaries the hard way. They learned that not everyone who shares blood shares responsibility. And slowly, quietly, they rebuilt. Not the same life, not the same innocence, but something sturdier. They learned to choose peace, to choose each other, to choose futures not defined by what they lost. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Some children inherit wealth, some inherit opportunity, some inherit grief and are forced to turn it into wisdom just to survive. If you're listening to this, I don't want your pity. I want your honesty. Did family support you or pressure you? What helped you heal the most? What part of you is still waiting to be cared for? Drop it in the comments. Not to debate, to witness each other. Because silence keeps people stuck. Shared stories build bridges. This podcast is not just a story. It's a gathering place. And if your life started making sense only after everything fell apart, know this. Being left alone does not mean being abandoned by purpose. Some of the strongest adults were once children who survived what should have destroyed them. This is After the Second Goodbye, and your voice belongs in this conversation, and this is Victoria's Dream TV.